on safari often means roughing it for a couple of days, leaving behind the sophistication and convenience of modern life. Or does it? Aranibar has produced and exported African crafts and leather items for over a decade. With a reputation for creativity and quality, the company continues to grow while working closely with local communities to diversify and develop African crafts. Juakali, that is, cottage industry workers, build strong aluminium boxes which form the base of the hamper. Once received, the boxes are cleaned with steel wool to reveal the bright metallic sheen. Exact measurements of the handmade box are recorded to guide the finishing details. The structure of the interior lining is made of an attractive, sturdy green canvas. Using the internal measurements of the box, cardboard is cut and glued to the foam padding. It is then joined with canvas. Glue is applied and allowed to dry before it is stuck together and the edges trimmed. Striking it with a mallet further strengthens the bond. The sections are unfolded and fitted in the hamper. The inside of the lid begins life in the carpentry shed. A rectangular piece of plywood is sawn off a large sheet and refined using a bench saw. Finally, it is sanded down, smoothing the edges. A foam covering is cut out and glue applied to the edges and allowed to dry. Once dry, the edges are stuck together and the final canvas covering cut out and glued. Using a stencil, marks are made where the rivets for the leather harnesses will go. Holes are then drilled through the board. Load-bearing leather for the main buckle, as well as the side handles, is thick, and so a sharpened head knife is used to cut out the shapes marked earlier using a template. They are thick enough to hold their shape, and so polish is applied after they have been cut out. The thinner, decorative pieces, which carry no weight, are polished first, then cut out using a pair of scissors. The corner patches are sewn along the 90-degree angle and separated. Each piece then receives a coat of glue. Using a ruler, guidelines are made on the aluminium box and glue is applied. After it dries, the leather is stuck on. A head knife is used to trim off the excess leather. The thick leather pieces receive a decorative stitch pattern along the edges, which also helps reduce fraying. Where the leather is folded, like on these handles, a sewing machine cannot be used. The workman uses a punch to create the holes for the threads to pass through. A sewing awl needle with a hooked end is then used to thread the holes. Different punches are used to notch the straps for the lid and blanket. The desired design is transferred onto the leather via tracing paper. Using a heated pyro engraving tool, the design is burned into the leather, achieving an aesthetically pleasing dark finish. Holes are now drilled into the aluminium box using marks created with various templates. Decorative and structural rivets are then snapped into the holes. The handles require stronger joints, and so bolts are sized with a hacksaw and screwed in place. The cutlery straps are added and the board placed in the box. Chains are riveted between the box and the lid to prevent overextension of the hinge. The metal cutlery is inserted and the canvas-backed picnic blanket belted to the back. Picnic anyone? Aranibar's Safari Picnic Hamper, made in Kenya.